I'm with James Buckland, London Scottish head coach. James, let's first look back at the Saracens game at the weekend. What are the positives you took out from it, certainly from a forwards point of view?
Well, we looked at it in quite some detail. I mean, obviously the scoreline 40 points to 5. You think we'd come off the wrong side of a performance there, especially when you consider Nottingham beat Leicester on the weekend and Rotherham obviously ran Northampton Saints very close. So it's not unheard of for Championship sides to put on a good performance against a Premiership team, especially at this stage of the season where a lot of their squad players are involved and maybe a few of their internationals are still away and they're looking for a little bit of game time for the less experienced lads. So we looked at Saracens. They were very, very, very well drilled, very well organised, and they are one game further on in their pre-season plans. But so we had to go through it in some detail and look for the positives. And in terms of the endeavour and the spirit, we thought the boys were fantastic. Defensively, the boys worked really hard. But I think it's hard to replicate the kind of intensity you need in a match in training. And being our first game, we did drop off a few tackles we shouldn't have dropped off, and we didn't quite work hard to connect like we should have. And the times where our line speed was a little bit lacking, and maybe we gave their attack a bit too much respect. From a forwards perspective, I mean, we didn't get driven. We struggled to win ball in the air against them, and they were very shrewd. Obviously, you'd expect with some great line-out operators in their team, they were very shrewd at disrupting our ball, and we didn't get very close to a lot of their ball. But we didn't let them push us around on the deck, and we came out on top in the scrum battle. So, from a set piece perspective, we were happy. Overall, I know the backs didn't get a lot of ball and they've still got a lot of strikes they want to try out and get their processes in place going into the season. But overall, we were happy, but we're only happy if it improves. We talked about a benchmark and moving on. So we're playing Esher this week. And by the nature of the competition, we sort of hope we get a little bit more ball to play with. And we'll judge last week on how we rebound and address the things we need to work on this week.
If last weekend was all about defence, is this week looking at the attacks and the attack processes, but also looking to try and keep the score to 0 in terms of Esher?
Well, you say we didn't go into the game wanting to defend last week. The fact was we went against a Premiership side who had the lion's share of possession, so we had to defend. Likewise this week, we're going with the mindset that we want to get ball in hand and we want to play. And when Esher got the ball, we want to make sure our defence is effective and we get it back quickly. So, yeah, I think we'd like to think we've addressed some issues, and those balls that we didn't get to play off last week, we hope to play off this week. So hopefully, it'll be a bit more ball in hand. And the boys that have worked really hard all year, trying to bust the line, working on our shapes and different things, hopefully they'll come to the fore.
Will you be changing up the starting 15 this weekend?
Yeah, we talked about everyone getting a game. Obviously, it's impossible for everyone to get a start. We've got a few boys, like for example, we've got 4 hookers, 3 scrum halves. But we'll change it up as much as we can this week. And the guys that came off the bench did well last week, they'll get rewarded. And also those boys that have been waiting patiently for an opportunity will get an opportunity. And it's really important with a small squad that everyone's fast and ready, hot and ready to go, and no one's cold for too long, because one injury, one's pulled muscle on a Monday means the next guy's in. So it's a squad effort and everyone gets a crack, and those boys going out this week against Esher want to put their hands up for Glasgow in 2 weeks' time, and then obviously we're into it. So the opportunities are coming fast, but you've got to take them.
Against Esher last year, we discovered a gem in Stuart McGarr, who we signed this season. Are these games also all about potentially looking at players that could make the step up to the Championship?
I think so. It's not the kind of thing you go into. Obviously, we've got our ship settled now for the season. We know where we are. There'll be a couple of bodies coming in and out. But, I mean, yeah, you use Stuart as a good example. He really impressed us last year when he played for Esher. And now he's in our environment this year, pushing on into the Championship campaign. So, National 1 teams, especially in the forward pack, those guys can mix it. It's a tough environment in National 1, and we went. They're going to give us a tough test, as they did last year. And the boys had a really tough unit session this morning. We talk about setting our own standards, regardless of who the opposition are. And coming off the back of a bit of a lesson from Saracens, we've had to address a few issues, and we've had to be tough on ourselves. And we'll look to take that attitude into Esher.
He'll be looking forward to coming back to the home patch. We're at Richmond for the next 3 weeks on the bounce, so looking forward to coming back.
Fantastic. The boys love playing out there. It's home for us, and to get a crowd down, people are excited about the new season, and for us, those boys looking to put a marker down. It starts in the last 2 warm-up games at home, going into a massive first game against Rotherham. So we're looking to get all our processes in place over the next 3 weeks. On the pitch and off the pitch, and having the next 3 games at home, we'll make sure the boys are as well prepared as we can make them.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.